Hello all! Welcome to my introductory video about how to best utilize Gale ebooks for any topic that you've chosen in a health-related field. First, to access this database, I'm going to take a step back and go to the library homepage. To get to Gale ebooks, it's best to click on the Research Databases tab, and we can simply scroll down to our A to Z list until we hit G's and we find Gale. So Gale ebooks. You'll see from the description that it says it provides access to the content of more than 270 reference sources. This refers mainly to encyclopedia articles. Thus, this database is best used when we're finding kind of generalized background information on a topic, or when your professor tells you that you have to choose a health topic, but you haven't yet decided on one, so you're still looking to browse. If you are trying to decide on a topic, you can just type in very generic keywords here and it'll give you some background information to see if you're interested in that topic at all. I'm going to use diabetes as a sample search. Let me go ahead and type that in here. And I'm not going to get any more specific, such as diabetes in adults or children or type 1 or type 2. I'm just typing in diabetes, very broad, to see what we'll get from the beginning. So it tells me up here at the top that I've got 6,640 results, and this is quite a high number for Gale ebooks because it is a smaller database. Usually this number is not quite so large. For that reason, and the fact that I'm seeing my first result here is from 2002, I will probably go back and hit Advanced Search and update my results. Type in diabetes one more time. Update my results to include only articles that were published, after 2000 and maybe 10, something like the past 10 years. Of course, you can make it a smaller window, like 2015, the past 5 years if you'd like. Really depends on you or whatever your professor has given you in their prompt. But because these are encyclopedia articles, usually you can't afford to look at something a little bit older because background information doesn't change as quickly as more specific information does. However, some of these articles might mention statistics and we don't want something that is super old. And we did have more than 6,000 results. So 971 results is what we're left with. And you'll notice that you have many other options for filtering your results here. Publication title, document type, other subject terms, publication language, content level, and then you can search within if you want to get a little bit more specific on your topic and you already have an idea of what direction you want to go in. If you don't have an idea of how you want to narrow your topic, looking at the subject filter, you can expand it by clicking on it. This can be a really great way to give you ideas about what is popular in relation to your topic, your broad topic. For instance, in diabetes, I can have one chapter that's dedicated to diagnosing diabetes. I can have another paragraph that's related to the risk factors. I can have another paragraph that's related to obesity, drug interactions, preventative medicine, diet, etc. And you'll notice this number here tells you how many articles correspond or overlap between your broad topic and this narrower topic. So 79 articles mention diabetes mellitus and 60 articles mention diabetes and obesity. Now it's a good idea to click on these one by one, go back to this page and click on the other one. For instance, if I was interested in diabetes and diagnosing it, I could click on this. I've got my 47 results and this limiter also stays in place, so my 47 results are no older than 10 years. And from here, I like to take a look at this first line here. So it tells me the year that it was published in, how many pages the article is. Usually I ignore ones that are only 1 or 2 pages because generally this isn't enough information. It's always nice to have more information than you'll need because then you can pick and choose what you want to mention in your paper. So this is 10 pages. It tells you how difficult it is, content level 4. And you'll see that 4 is one of the more difficult ones here. It only goes up to 5, so it is pretty difficult. And then it tells you here the encyclopedia in which this article was published. The volume 1 and the 4th edition. So sometimes these can be 1 volume, 2, 3, 4, 10 volume sets. Just gives you a little background information about where this is coming from and maybe the perspective they might have on it. So this first one is coming from the Gale Encyclopedia of Genetic Disorders. The second one here is coming from the Encyclopedia of Children's Health. So you can see they might focus more on children. This is also Genetic Disorders, Encyclopedia of Medicine, Human Diseases and Condition, etc., etc. So if I wanted to use, say, this article, I would click on the title, and from here you have a lot of different options up here at the top. So if you wanted to take a look at the citation for your works cited or your references page, you can go ahead and jump to that there. I always recommend emailing the article to yourself, and you can do that by clicking on this Send To button. Every database the library subscribes to has either an email, a share, a Send To button, and they all refer to sending it to yourself and having it available in your inbox. So always be on the lookout for those in our databases. And this way you don't have to log back into the databases, you don't have to do this search again, you don't have to find this article again. You'll have it waiting for you in your inbox very simply, so you can come back and read it whenever you'd like. Be warned that if you're on a laptop or if you have this tab open on your computer screen, it will log you out after a certain amount of activity because you are logged in under the library subscription, so it'll log you out for security reasons. So if you walk away from your computer, not immediately, maybe an hour or two, but if you close your laptop or walk away for an extended amount of time, this might not be gone, or this might be gone when you walk back to it. So always email it to yourself to prevent that from happening. And you do have the option of saving immediately to your Google Drive, and you all have a student email account which is hosted by Google, so you all have access to a Google Drive whether or not you're signed into it. Or you can just select email and type in any personal email that you have. And you'll notice that it gives you the full text of the article as a default. And that's all you have to do to send it to yourself. It's completely free, it's easy. So whenever you think you might use an article, go ahead and send it to yourself, even if you don't think you will, or if you don't end up doing it. So you can see this article has several other related subjects, and you can go ahead and click on them to get some background information on those as well. But as you scroll down, notice it gives you a definition, a description. It goes through some of the basic background information of what diabetes is, genetic profile. This gets a little bit more scientific, etc., etc. So you can see these articles will give you some very, very good background information. And you can take from this ideas for more specific subject terms that you want to search for in perhaps an EBSCOhost database later on when you get more specific about your research. So if I go back to my original search, this is where I've limited it down to diagnosis, remember? And if I go back one more time, oops, back. There we go. So this is my 971 results, and I've taken off my diagnosis limiter. So if I already have an idea, I don't need to select something from the subject term, but I already have an idea of what I want to search for, such as diabetes in children. I can use this search within tab here and type in my additional term. So that takes me down to 561 results from 900 and something. And you can see this article here also mentions children. That was the one that we had just clicked on. But you have a lot of different options as well. And every title that you click on will look exactly like it did before. You have the option of sending it to yourself, looking at the citation, or you can simply download it to whatever computer you are at. So these are a couple different ways that you can use Gale eBooks to kind of narrow your results. Remember that we started off with a very broad term. We didn't add too many additional terms. We started off fairly broad in our search. I chose to click on Advanced Search, I typed in diabetes one more time because it does get deleted, unfortunately. And I chose to search for books after a certain year because we are searching for topics in the medical field, and these topics tend to change rather quickly, and some of the statistics might be out of date if we look at something a little bit older. Of course, this does depend on how many results you end up with in the beginning. If you have, less than 10 results, limiting it by year would get, too limited. So it depends on how broad your topic is to begin with. But I just want to remind you that you do have that option. So you can limit it by date range, you can limit it by subject term. You can either get ideas from this tab here, or you can choose whatever subject term you have in mind already. You can limit it by content level if you only wanted something a little bit more advanced. If you already know a little bit about your topic, this could be a good option for you as well. Or if you are very new to your topic and you only want to look at material that's on the easier side, this could be a good option as well. When you click on the titles of your articles, remember that you should always be emailing it to yourself, and then you should always take note of the citation because you will need that for your works cited or your reference page. So I hope this helped, and I hope you get some good information in Gale ebooks. If you ever have any questions about how to use this database or how to kind of take the information you get from this database into a more advanced database like EBSCOhost, back at the library homepage, notice that we have a Chat with a Librarian tab on every single page. So if you ever have any questions about your paper, citations, the databases, or anything on campus really, make sure you take advantage of this Chat with a Librarian feature that we do have. Librarians are staffing this whenever the library is open. So in the fall semester, that's going to be from 7:30 in the morning to 10 p.m. at night, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 3 on Fridays, and then 10 to 3 on Saturdays. And we will have extended hours during finals week. So I hope you take advantage of this, and I hope this helped a little bit with your research.